The dust of Iraq is barely settled. The Sassanid Empire is in shock, its frontier dismantled by the sword of Allah. Khalid ibn al-Walid stands at the banks of the Euphrates, looking north toward the Persian heartland. But a single rider from Medina changes everything. The war in Iraq must wait. A greater crisis has emerged in the west. The Roman eagle has spread its wings, and the Muslim armies in Syria are trapped in a political and military quagmire. The sword is being called to al-Sham. Before Khalid even sets foot in Syria, the political landscape is a minefield. For centuries, the southern border of the Roman Empire was guarded by the Ghassanids, an Arab dynasty that had become more Roman than the Romans. They were kings, dressed in Byzantine silk, wearing gold crosses and ruling from marble palaces. In the Roman capital of Antioch, Emperor Heraclius watches the Muslim advance with a cold, calculated eye. He understands something the desert tribes do not. Identity is a weapon. He turns to the Ghassanid king, Jabla bin al-Ayyam, a man whose physical stature was so imposing that he seemed like a titan from the age of myths. Heraclius whispers a piece of dark wisdom that would define the campaign. Everything is destroyed by its own kind, and nothing cuts steel but steel. He doesn't want to send his precious legions to die in the heat of the Levant. He wants the Christian Arabs of the north to bleed the Muslim Arabs of the south. He frames the war not as an invasion, but as a civil war of Arab identity. He tells the Ghassanids that the barefoot lizard-eaters are coming to steal their civilization, their faith, and their status. While Heraclius manipulates from the north, Caliph Abu Bakr is facing a crisis of leadership in Medina. He had sent 4 of his greatest commanders to Syria: Abu Ubaidah, Amr bin al-As, Yazid, and Shurabil. Each was a legend, each was an equal, but a committee cannot win a war. In Syria, the 4 generals are operating in silos. They are divided by geography. The Roman legions are massing at Ajnadain, and the Muslim front is stalling. Abu Bakr realizes that to save the campaign, he must break the traditional chain of command. He makes the most controversial political decision of his caliphate. He orders Khalid ibn al-Walid to leave Iraq and take supreme command over the 4 generals.
The elders of Medina are restless. O Caliph, you send a man of the sword to lead the saints of the Ummah? Abu Ubaidah was a Muslim when Khalid ibn al-Walid was still sharpening his blade against us. Abu Bakr, frail but with eyes like flint, responds, By Allah, I shall strike the Romans with Khalid ibn al-Walid. I have seen the fire in his soul, and Syria needs a fire that cannot be extinguished. Modern analogy. This is the equivalent of a massive multi-branch corporation that is failing due to internal bureaucracy. The chairman of the board, Abu Bakr, decides to bypass the senior regional managers, Abu Ubaidah and others, and bring in a wartime CEO with a reputation for aggressive, high-risk turnarounds. It is a move that risks a total mutiny. Khalid receives the letter at Hira. He understands the political gravity. If he takes the standard route, the northern arc through the Roman forts, he will arrive too late. The Muslim armies will be crushed individually, and his arrival will be a funeral march. He must arrive as a phantom. He must bypass the identity war at the border and strike the heart of Syria before the Romans even know he has left Iraq. He gathers his men and looks at the Nafud, the great void. This is not just a tactical choice, it is a political statement. To take this path is to tell the world that the Muslim army is no longer bound by the geography of the old empires. Rafi bin Umaira, the guide, stands before Khalid. "Commander, no army has ever survived this. Even the birds die of thirst in the Nafud." Khalid points toward the setting sun. "Rafi, the Romans are waiting for us on the road. We will not use the road. We will use the desert, for the desert is our mother, and she will not betray her sons." The logistics of slaughtering the camels to drink from their stomachs is not just a survival trick, it is the ultimate act of commitment. There is no turning back. If they don't find the spring at Suwa, the sword of Allah and the elite of the Rashidun army will become bleached bones in the sand. Khalid is gambling the entire future of the Caliphate on a 5-day march through hell. He does this because he knows that in Syria the clock is ticking and the Roman hammer is about to fall. The march has begun. The camels are being loaded, their jaws tied, their bellies full of water they will never digest. If you want to witness the moment the ghost army emerges from the dunes to shatter the Roman status quo, welcome to the House of Wisdom. The army has disappeared into the shimmering heat of the Nafud. Back in Syria, the Roman legions have reached 90,000 strong. The 4 Muslim commanders are looking at the horizon, waiting for a savior who might already be dead in the sand. Will Khalid emerge as a liberator, or will his arrival spark the greatest leadership crisis the young Islamic state has ever faced?